Greetings and good evening, everyone. My name is Mark. I'm going to be hosting tonight's Friday night Footsoak meditation. I'm presently living in Florida, and for the last couple of years. Before that, I was living in Washington State most of my adult life, and that is where I received my self-realization over 30 years ago when Srimataji made a visit to Seattle. And it's really like to tell a little story about how that happened. It was kind of an unlikely event. Um, I had been seeking most of my life since I was a childhood. I kind of went back and forth between seeking and partying and seeking and partying. And I had read books about the masters of the Far East. I took philosophy in college, and then on the weekends I had kind of overindulged in a lifestyle that's not always so righteous. But at one point in my life, I kind of got fed up, and I really, really wanted to change. And I had made this determination from all the readings and I had done that. Um, I really needed to receive my self realization and learn to meditate. So one night I prayed with all my heart's desire. I said, please, oh divine, please send me a guru that would teach me to meditate and give me my self realization. And the very next day on the internet, I saw this posting on Seattle.General. This was before the World Wide Web. They had these uh, Usenet groups, they called them. And so I didn't always look at it because sometimes there was too many postings and uh, I was at work. I didn't want to spend too much time at it, but there was only a few postings that day. So I might as well take a look. And there was this announcement that Srimataji was coming to Seattle in a couple of months, and she was going to give the experience of self-realization and teach how to meditate. I was like, wait a minute, this happened the very next day after I'd said this heartfelt prayer. And so the day came, I read it in red ink in my little daytimer appointment book. And um, I went there and she talked for quite a while, actually, I remember. And at some point, she went through this self realization experience, which all of you have experienced somewhere. And um, at some point, we're feeling that on top of our head, and I was feeling heat and cool. And she says, you might be feeling heat and cool on top of your head. And it was exactly what I was feeling. And afterwards, I wasn't really sure what happened, but I lost all my desire to drink, and I just felt different somehow. I couldn't really put my finger on it. And so anyway, I continued to meditate every day, twice a day, like they said, 5 or 10 minutes a day, and like this. And after a couple of weeks, I felt nothing, absolutely nothing, after feeling something that first night. And so they told me to, hey, come to the center, and they taught me how to foot soak, and they were working on me trying to raise my kundalini and all this. And a few more weeks went by. It had been 5 weeks total since I had received my self-realization. Nothing. I was feeling absolutely nothing. And then one night, my kundalini just came up so strong, and I could feel it like sort of spinning on top of my head. And I got so blissed out, and at that point there was just like no turning back. And it was probably, I don't know, another week and a half before I started feeling that again, and perhaps maybe a year before I could feel it like on a regular basis. And the reason I want to relate this story is that for different people, the timing is different. Some people feel their kundalini the first time, and but many people don't. And it can take days, weeks, months even. I had one person told me they didn't start feeling the vibrations, the cool breeze or whatever until after a year. And some people never really feel very strongly, vibrations on their hands. But that's okay. I mean, most people say I feel more peaceful, I feel more relaxed. Um, I have a theory that I really feel like the experience inside yoga is highly dependent on our desire and our attention. And I think if we look at, most anything in our life that, or even look at people that are not practicing Sahaja Yoga, the way people have these really great accomplishments is desire and attention and the discipline to really work at it. So I think with those three things, the desire, the attention, and the discipline to do it on a daily basis, even for just a few minutes, that the vast majority of people will progress. And so anyway, that's my story, my message for tonight. Um, Everybody should have their foot soak bucket all ready to go, so we can go ahead and put our feet into the foot soak. And I would like to keep the meditation simple. I kind of prefer to let the silence do the talking for the most part. But one of the things inside yoga is that we all become our own guru, and it's really important that we learn to self-diagnose on our hands. And we may not be feeling things on our hands, but one thing that you can do is kind of a guideline, just in terms of balancing the left and the right. If you can't feel it on your hands, if you tend to get sleepy during meditation, then that's probably a left side imbalance, and you should use left side treatment for that. If your mind is just thinking, 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 you just can't stop the thoughts, then that's a right side thing. So you should use a colder foot soak, maybe an ice pack on the liver. Left side, you can do left side balance. You can use a candle flame. Put your hand over this is a candle, by the way. Put your hand over the candle, kind of move it around a little bit, and that can help do the balancing. We're not going to do those tonight, but I think most of you know that, like for the balance on the left side, we put our left hand out and our right hand down towards the earth, right? And the opposite way, if we need to balance our right side, we put our right hand out, hand to the sky. There's other techniques. I don't know if you've known. Another thing you can do to balance the left side, we can bring the left side up and over the top to our right side. So I'm sorry, it'd be the other way. We're pulling our right side up and pushing down the left. Up with the right side and down with the left if our left is heavy and imbalanced. If it's the right side, we can lift up our left side and push down on the right. So you can decide which technique works best for you. Usually there's at least a couple different ways to do these clearing techniques. One of the techniques that I've done is sort of a hybrid. I think one of the most effective techniques that I've done, just in general, if I'm losing my attention or if I'm not feeling my kundalini so strong, is just raising up the center channel slowly. And to me, this is one of the most effective techniques after 30 plus years of doing this, is just bringing up the center channel. And sometimes what I'll do, if I'm feeling a little bit of a right side imbalance, I want to keep raising my kundalini, and then I'll just push down the right. Or I'll raise my kundalini and push down the left. So there's three different ways right there how you can balance yourself. And then, of course, this one up the center channel, raise the kundalini. And also, you probably know that like one of the best ways is to take our hands up off the lap, like at the level of the heart. So it's just kind of in the open air, and try and feel vibrations this way. Is our left hand heavy? Okay, I need to do some left side balancing. So my right hand heavy, right side balancing. So I'm going to guide through the lower chakras for foot soaking. And then after we foot soak, I'm going to do something with the upper chakras. So I'm going to go ahead and do like a bija mantra for the Muladhara, the Swadhisthana, and the Nadi. Those are the first three chakras. But if you're feeling an imbalance on a left side or another chakra, by all means, work on that chakra. Be your own guru, self-diagnose what it is you need to work on. But if you're not really feeling anything, you can just follow along with me as we clear, excuse me, we clear these bottom three energy centers. Okay. So let's go ahead and close our eyes, bring our attention inward, and we can take a few deep breaths through our nose and out the mouth, long, deep breaths. This kind of settles our heart chakra, which is the seat of our spirit. Now, slowly, we can place our right hand at the base of the spine, slowly raise it up the center channel, very slowly, and touch the top of our head. And let's do this a couple of more times. Okay, we can just keep our hands on our lap, keep our attention at the top of our head, and let's just see if we can maintain the silence for a minute or so. Okay, so some of you may or may not already be aware of something we call the Bija mantras. And the Bija mantra is a sound or a note. Unfortunately, I'm not a musician, so may not be at the right key. But we can still say um, the note or the sound, the syllable, if you will, for the chakra. And we'll start with the Muladhara chakra, which is just below the sacrum bone. And we start off by saying Om first. Om, of course, is the primordial sound, the first sound made at the creation of the universe at the Big Bang was Om, A, U, Ma. And we're going to pronounce the A and the U, the left and the right channel, past and present, as one sound, more or less, like an Om, like this. And then the third, the Ma, we're going to extend that to a M. So we're going to go, I'm going to say this first, and you can join with me. We're going to say Om, and then the Bija mantra for the Muladhara is Lam. And we'll say Lam 3 times. So we'll go Om, Lam, Lam, Lam. Okay? Om, Lam, Lam, Lam. Om, And slowly raise our Kundalini up the center channel. Gently touch the top of our head. Bring our hand down out in front of us. And just do this 2 or 3 times. And let's see if we can find another minute of silence. Okay, the second chakra, the Swadhisthana chakra, is between our navel, our belly button, and our waist, where the um, legs meet the torso. And the bija mantra for the Swadhisthana is WAM, W-A-M, WAM. So we're going to say the bija mantra Om, WAM, WAM, WAM. So we'll say that twice. Om, WAM, WAM, WAM. Om, WAM, WAM, WAM. Another minute of silence. Okay, now that we're going to move up to the Nabi chakra, the third one. This is where our navel is. We can place the center of our palm on the navel, in the center of our stomach. And the bija mantra for this Nabi chakra, the third chakra, is Ram, R-A-M, Ram. So we're going to say Om, Ram, 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 and then repeat. Om, Ram, Ram, Ram. Om, Ram, Ram, Ram. And place our right hand down. Now let's move our hands up off our lap, maybe around the level of the heart. Separate the fingers so they're not touching. See if we can feel a finger tingling, one side heavier than another. If not, you can use what I said before, like if you're feeling sleepy during the silent meditation, then do the left side balance. If your mind is very active, then do the right side balance. If there's a chakra you're feeling, you can spin it like in a clockwise direction. You can open your hand like I'm spinning on my center heart chakra or on my left heart chakra or the throat chakra. So like the front of my body is the face of a clock. So we're going to take, let's say try and shoot for 3 minutes of silence this time and quietly work on ourselves. Maintain that meditative state in the present moment. Try and watch the thoughts come. Don't fight the thoughts. Let them come. Watch them go. Like you're watching a play or a movie. And let's just enjoy the silence together. Okay, we can all open our eyes. And let's all put our hands up, separate our fingers and see what we feel. And try and remember what we're feeling. And perhaps we can use that as homework for our next meditation session. So let's go ahead and rinse our feet. And then we can dry them off and set the Footsoak bucket aside. So next I'd like to work on clearing, there's a channel or a nadi between our heart and our brain. And the heart represents, love and compassion in its purest and highest form, and which is the essence of our spirit. And then, our brain has our intellectual function and mental capacity. We need some level of intellect and rationale to just, you know, cook food and get dressed and, work and all those other things. And Shimada Jima and others too have mentioned something called EQ, emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is when our intellect is balanced with love and compassion. And others have written about this phenomenon also. And so when we have this channel open between our heart and our brain, we can achieve at least some level of EQ, if you will, emotional intelligence. And one thing I wanted to mention, I don't know, I know there's some new people here that this could be new information, um, but I'm going to say it anyway. Is something I read about before practicing Sahaja Yoga, that our being is really comprised of three components. One is a causal aspect, which I'll talk about a little bit more. The subtle aspect, which is our subtle body, which isn't really physical, and then our physical body. And then the chakras are the interface between our subtle body and our physical body. And the Kundalini is one of those causal aspects of our being, along with our spirit, also called the Atma. Like the heartbeat comes from our spirit, our reflection of the spirit, and likewise the Kundalini. So these two causal aspects of our being, Atma and Kundalini, are the primordial forces that cause this universe to come into existence and create everything in it. So the power that we have inside, the power from our Kundalini, the power of our spirit, this love and compassion in its purest form, is really the pinnacle of our being. And then our subtle body also responds to you. We say affirmations because the subtle body is has metaphysical qualities, love, compassion, attention, knowledge, um, collectivity, communication, and a lot of other things that can't be proven in a science lab, but we all know they exist. And so when our Kundalini comes up the center channel to the top of our head and exits through the fontanelle bone area, there's also our heart chakra circles the Kundalini fontanelle bone area. And so when our heart is open to our brain and the Kundalini rises, and the heart and the Kundalini are one together. That is yoga. That is the true yoga. When these two causal aspects are being meet together and connect us into the collective consciousness. All very theoretical, I'm sure, to some of you, but just keep an open mind about this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on seeing if we can open up a channel. We're going to use some mantras with we call divine personalities. So they're personalities that are associated with these different energy centers. And so for this one, the divine personality is Shiva. And we're just going to say like Om Shiva Namaha. And here and then there's one here midway, Lalita Devi. We'll say Om Lalita Devi Namaha. And then on the left side, we'll say Om Vishnu Maya Namaha. And then lastly, we're going to we're going to do the Om Ham Sham to kind of reduce our ego and superego to let the Kundalini come up. So this is kind of a preview of the meditation. So let's go ahead and close our eyes, bring our attention inwards, our right hand on our left heart. And here we're going to say the mantra a couple of times. We'll say Om Shiva Namaha. Om Shiva Namaha. Om Shiva Namaha. Om Shiva Namaha. Let's just spin this chakra in a clockwise direction. Remember, it's backwards. I'm facing you, so it's up and over to the right. So it's like the front of our body's the face of the clock. So this, once the Kundalini comes up, the chakras actually start to spin in a clockwise direction. Okay, now we can place our right hand midway between our heart and our shoulder on the left-hand side. And here we're going to say the mantra Om Lalita Devi Namaha. Om Lalita Devi Namaha. Om Lalita Devi Namaha. Om Lalita Devi Namaha. And we can spin this chakra a few times, keeping our attention at the top of our head. Okay, now we can place our right hand on where our shoulder and the neck meet. And here we're going to say Om Vishnu Maya Namaha. Om Vishnu Maya Namaha. Om Vishnu Maya Namaha. Om Vishnu Maya Namaha. Give some bandhans here also. Now let's place our hands above our ears. This is, so we're covering our ego and our superego. And I'm going to say the Bija mantra is Om Ham Sham, which is I am and I forgive. Om Ham Sham. Om Ham Sham. Om Ham Sham. We can lightly touch our right hand to the top of our head and just very gently touch down and gently massage. And we can ask Mother Kundalini. It's more than energy. It's a primordial power that has intelligence, has awareness, and responds to our desire. And we can say with our most heartfelt desire, Mother Kundalini, please rise and put me into meditation. Mother Kundalini, please rise and put me into meditation. Mother Kundalini, please rise and put me into meditation. Slowly lift our right hand off the top of our head. And briefly check for the presence of the Kundalini. And we can place our hands down on our lap. And let's see if we can find silence in the next few minutes. Okay, let's slowly open our eyes, bring our attention outwards, and so we can conclude the program this evening by raising our Kundalini and put ourselves in Bandhan. There will be music afterwards if you'd like to continue meditating, if you're in a good space and want to continue. But let's go ahead and now raise our Kundalini. Okay, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining, and perhaps we'll see you again another time. Okay, good night.